guys, I'm here to do a March wrap up. The sun is shining, so I thought I just take the shot and film a video or two. I'm sorry this is a few days late. I'm actually homesick from work, but I'm feeling better, so let's get into this. I've read quite a few books, different books, both novels and poetry and children's books. Yeah, and I also thought I'd show you a film that I recently saw. It's from our library. It's called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. This is made in America but it's actually in Persian. So, and it's beautiful. It's in black and white, and it's made by, what's she called? I can't remember what her name is, but when I saw the trailer for this, I was so amazed. This is beautiful, and it's actually a horror film, sort of, but very suggestive and dark and just very mysterious and creeping. So it's really nice, and it's black and white and has lovely scenes, amazing cuts. This is for any film lover out there. This is amazing, and it has subtext, of course, but it's shot in America, and it's just it's so good. Please check out the trailer for this. This is yeah, the best thing I've seen in a long time, actually. Yeah. I also watched a Swedish TV series called Fröken Frimanskrig, and this is this is about a woman who comes home from London when the suffragette movement started, and she tries to do the same thing in Sweden, and this was great. And I actually saw the suffragette movie at the theater this month, and I cried my heart out. It was really good, but so fucking sad. On to the novels. I read a children's graphic novel, sort of, which is beautiful. It's called Your Turn, Adrian, by Kristin Lidström and Helene Öberg. This is so pretty. I love this style, and this is actually about being alone and just not having any friends. He doesn't have any friends, and then he meets this dog in the streets. So when he's kind of sad, the drawings are in black and white or just grayscale, like this. See, he's walking to school, but when he's happy, like when he meets the dog or things, it's illustrated in colors, and I love the way they use the colors in this. It's just beautiful. So yeah, if you're in Sweden, pick it up. Then I read quite a few poetry books I found at the library. I read Jungfrukällorna by Carolina Thorell, and I really enjoyed this. This was kind of mystical and eerie, sort of, and woodsy, which I like. I like when nature comes into poetry. I felt like this was about loneliness as well, and death. There was a Greek mythology sort of nested in here. And I read another poetry collection just in the past few days, which I don't know if I really got this. I feel like it didn't give me much, really, so I can't say, but it's by Emma Barry. And I read a poetry collection that came out recently, and it's about the what's it called? People fleeing and traveling across countries from the Middle East and wherever, trying to find a safe spot. And this is anthology. So there's a lot of different Swedish poetry writers in here talking about that subject, and I thought this was really good. I really like this. The editor is Anna Jörgensdotter and Charlotte Quant, and it's called Om detta sjunger vi inte ensamma, but of this we don't sing alone, sort of translates. I really like this. I don't know about poetry collections if they ever get translated, really, but I really like the premise and the idea of this very important subject. I read a novel that I found at the library as well, La Héronnière, something. It's French by Lise Tremblay, something. I can't speak French. Anyhow, I'll put the translation here. I really like this. This is a small format. I kind of dig these kind of editions because they're cute, and yeah. So this is 5 stories, short stories sort of, but they all centers around the same place, and you can see that the people who tells these stories are kind of neighbors because the other things nestles. It's yeah, and I like those kind of short stories. I love those kind of short stories actually. So if you've read a book that's like that, please write it in the description box. So yeah, this is 5 stories, and it's about this small village in the woods, and most people move away from there. Mainly men stay because there's a hunting theme going on. No theme, like a team. They have a hunting team, and tourists come there, and during the summers the locals kind of feel oppressed by the tourist that comes and stays in the houses, and same old. So this is kind of like eerie, melancholic, and moody in a way, but also exciting in some parts, kind of mystery, a lot of emotions, but very subtle. So yeah, I really like this. I definitely recommend this. I read quite a few young adult novels this month, 4 actually. The first one I finished in 2 or 3 days, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I actually got so sucked into this, I didn't want to go to sleep. That's why it took maybe 2 or 3 days to read it, because I had to go to work, and I can't stay up all night because I need to catch a train, and yeah, but I could have read it in one sitting if I had the time, because I was so invested in it. I just think for this kind of book, she's actually very thought through and good. I felt like the story had a lot more than the basic one thing most easier stories are. I found this more complex than I thought it would be. I mean, all these Simon Snow things, it wasn't horrible, but I wasn't too interested. I'm not gonna read Carry On, and I feel kind of bad it didn't have more to do with what actually happened in the other part of the story. But I liked it. I liked that it had different levels, like the manic father and the twin thing, like being friends forever and then kind of growing apart and being 2 different people and finding their way back together, and the romance thing I thought was cute, and going to college and don't have any friends and kind of being a shy person. I found it kind of difficult, but it worked out. So yeah, I got a lot from reading this book, and I really loved it, and I loved being in this. So I enjoyed this tons. I'm kind of sad this is from the library. I want to keep it. And due to reading Fangirl, I just felt like I couldn't get out of that kind of world, so I picked up Allerton Park right after and started. I didn't like this as much, even though I think it's actually good. I picked this up sometime when it came out and only read a few pages. Sorry, and didn't finish it. But this time I did, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I feel like, but I didn't feel like the story was as complex. There wasn't as much into it. I really enjoyed it due to mainly Park, because he's the kind of guy I go for, which was cute. So it was kind of nice for a chicklet sort of read. And I mean, I liked Eleanor as well. I understand where she comes from, and I felt sorry for her, and it was just heartbreaking. And I thought the ending was very clever, but I didn't feel like this story had as much depth to it as Fangirl had, like all the kind of layers that got together. But I still enjoyed this. So yeah, I'm happy I've read them. And then I finished Dare Me by Megan Abbott. I picked this up because Roxane Gay mentions this in Bad Feminist. And I thought, yeah, I'll try it. I mean, I'm not sure she talks about it as a recommendation, but it's about young girls, you know, they have the protagonist, the role, and it's all about these cheerleaders being strong and like machines, kind of, sort of. And I kind of enjoyed this at first. This is not really YA, but I mean, the people are young adults in this book, but it's sort of a mystery novel, but not really, but really, because there's a murder going on, and there's a lot of different shit happening in this, and it's not complex in a good way. It's actually kind of boring. It got too much. I didn't feel like some of the characters was believable at the end. It just got way too much. I would never... if I had those kind of people in my life, I'd cut them out way back. It just got too much. I couldn't believe the story in some parts, and that's where it got kind of bad. But it was okay. But yeah, not the best thing I read. And by okay, I mean like 2.5 stars, not 4 stars. Sorry. And then I read a Swedish YA that recently came out, and I've been so excited for this. It's supposed to be a trilogy, and it's by 2 Swedish people who work with humor. The guy works in a radio, and he's an asshole, and he's actually off the project right now because he's an anti-feminist asshole. And the woman, Nanna Johansson, is actually a feministic graphic artist. She writes graphic novels, satirical stuff. She's amazing. And it's called Omänniskor, kind of unhumans. And I really like the premise of this book because it's about humanity in today, like how it is now. Only some people can transform to animals, and it's about this 16-year-old girl. She has this douchebag boyfriend. She's supposedly going to help film a music video. This is how it starts off. And so they go into the woods kind of far in, and she's supposed to dance kind of naked in like a mask that he built because he's artsy. He's like 19 and she's 16, and she doesn't want to, but he forces her, and she's very uncomfortable, and he has a camera, and basically he tries to rape her, and she becomes this cat animal. And yeah, that's how she finds out about this, and goes on from there. And it's just, I was so disappointed because the writing is actually not that good. And the dialogue is horrible in some parts. Like this 19-year-old guy, who's a douche. He talks like a fucking 60-year-old man. It's not believable. The dialogue is not believable in a lot of parts, and I can feel like, because the authors are working with humor, and I could sense this in the book, and it just didn't suit where they tried to put those kind of things in. It didn't suit the book or the feeling of the book at all. So yeah, I'm very disappointed. I hardly believe I will pick up the rest, maybe flick them through, read the backs or synopsis, but no, I'm really disappointed, and yeah, too bad. And that's all I finished in March. I did read most of I Call Myself a Feminist for the Feminist Orchestra book club thing. I still have like a third left, which I will finish in April. Yeah, I like this as what it is for now. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people reviewing it already, so you can go check that out. Anyhow, I'm out of breath. This was a long video. I'll try and edit. Anyhow, what were your favorite books this month? Let me know and talk to me in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye!